Oh, Reelax.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry. It's been a long day. We've been in the studio all day, so my brain is like a bowl of porridge. Hey, this is Tommie Sunshine from Brooklyn, New York, and you're listening to Release with Reelax.
The number you have reached has been disconnected. The new number is...
The phone booth.
All right, here we go in the phone booth. It's a great pleasure to welcome back a long-term friend of Release and myself here. It is Mr. Tommie Sunshine, all the way from Brooklyn, the USA. How are you, mate?
Excellent. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to have you back in the phone booth and good to have you back on the show. It has been a while. We were just saying, I think the first time we met was many years ago when you came out to kickstart the Adelaide Club Night One Love back at Electric Circus back in the day. And since then, you've been a very busy man. Recently, you've had remixes on the recent number 1 and number 2 ARIA club charts out in Australia. Your own record, along with Disco Prize, Don't Look Back, went to number 2. I think you've been producing for Australian talent as well, and a couple of forthcoming remixes. It's been a lot going on in Australia for the man that is firmly planted in the US of amazement.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Like, it's always a pleasure to do stuff for there, because I just know after being there so many times. I mean, this is my 8th tour coming up in 7 years, so it's pretty unprecedented for an American to come to Australia that much. But it's a pleasure, and I just love playing there so much because everybody is so open to new music. And no matter what weird faction of music that I'm playing, like at that point of the year when I come, everyone is always super down, and they get so excited and just so up and into it. It's always beyond a pleasure to come there.
Yeah, so you are coming back in the month of September to tour around, and it's quite an extensive tour around the country. So check your gig guides and give us a call here to find out exactly where the man Tommie Sunshine is playing. I guess you talk about weird facets of music and what stages you're at, and I guess would have to be appropriate to breach this whole thing that's happened, I guess, since last time we've talked anyway, the EDM thing that the US has taken over. And I find it'd be interesting to get your response on this, being a Chicago-born man that's, been around house music. You've had a bit of a background, I guess it's been most of your best-known remix work has been in rock and alternative to the sounds like Fall Out Boy, Good Charlotte. But now to see this thing that has been called, entitled EDM, that America has taken over, what's your take on this sort of fashion fad at the moment, maybe?
I love the fact that this music is becoming as global as we always wanted it to be. That part of it's great. I think that, unfortunately, in America and kind of all over the world, I think that the culture that this music was connected to previously has been sacrificed for its popularity. The original ideals of the rave scene and it being so firmly rooted in kind of, it being not only subculture, but it being very subversive. Like, that's all been lost, and, now it's just all about drinks at the bar and popping bottles. And I think we're in a very dangerous place right now, but we're gonna weather the storm. We're gonna come out of all of that. And the best part about it, in my eyes, is can you imagine how unbelievable the underground is about to turn into as a result and as a response to the Guettas, the Tiestos, the Skrillexes. Kids are going to grow up listening to that music, and they're going to say, you know what? I don't want to make commercial music like that. I want to do it like this. And they're going to create whole new genres of music that I can't wait to hear.
It does certainly feel like that, doesn't it, that there is something ready to burst in the underground. And you're a man that has also always had one hand and one eye firmly on that. I mean, you've worked alongside and currently working with Bart B. Moore, Miss Kitten, DJ Hell, Aston Shuffle from the home country, and James Murphy, just to name a few, that are great tastemakers and very wide European to Australia sounds going on. And I think you're right, there's going to be an exciting sound and a couple of years ahead for the underground sound, I guess. And you probably got that 1 foot ready to go in there as well, just as well as you are to have it on both sides.
Well, I think right now, my main target when I make music now is to take all of what I know to be going on in the underground and relate that and marry that to pop music. So, if you can take bits and pieces of the greatest, you take a little of the trap from the Bauer record, and you take a little bit of the techno tweak from the Gustaffelstein record, and you take those things and you put them into like proper pop music. This is how we're going to move things forward, because you're going to have people writing pop songs over tracks that are actually like legitimate club tracks. And that's my goal anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. We are talking to Tommie Sunshine in the phone booth on the eve of his Australian tour, his 8th Australian tour, we found out, in 7 years, coming up next month. Mate, I've got to ask you about looking at things moving forward, and a group that I believe you've got a firm eye on and doing some work with, Iconopop. Tell us about these guys.
I mean, it's very funny. I met them 2 nights ago at a DJ expo in Atlantic City here in America, and we are now slated to step into the studio together. So me and Nick and Danny, Disco Fries, are going to be writing and producing with them for their album. And I think that, they're from the magical songwriting, nirvana of Sweden. So, I mean, most Swedish people can, write a pop song, while they're eating their breakfast. So, I mean, it's going to be really amazing to work with them. And the music that I've heard from them thus far has been tremendous. But they're very big fans of proper electronic music. Those girls, they have a mixtape up on their SoundCloud that, has Bradinsky and Data Life and NT89 and, all of these records that you're like, you've got to be kidding me. You know what I mean? It's proper. And, and, it's amazing to see a pop act, who from the get-go is so, rooted in going out and kind of living electronic music. They're definitely not charlatans in the sense that they're just trying to appeal to an EDM audience. These are girls who actually they participate in the EDM culture and are, and go out and enjoy this music on a level that, most of the kids who really like it do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting. Look out for them. It's a twin duet, I guess. Iconopop, 2 girls looking forward to the stuff, working with Tommie Sunshine and Disco Fries. We are talking to Tommie Sunshine in the phone booth. I'm going to ask you this. You recently said, quoted saying, everyone wants to be a producer these days and not a remixer. I guess that's a throwback to the old house music days, perhaps. Explain further on that one for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's actually... I said that in a panel discussion, actually, and what I really meant was that, when you get started in all of this, I think, generally, when you first get started, you mess around with other people's acapellas and their parts, and, you do remixes and bootlegs and things like that. But, you're really, I mean, if you're a remixer, technically you already are a producer, you know what I mean?
Sure.
You're making electronic music, so... you're already well on your way. But what I was saying was that nobody gets into this because they want to be a remixer. You know what I mean? Of course, the ultimate goal is to be a producer. And, and not only a producer, but to be, working with other artists and be able to collaborate in the sense that you can bring your sound to, a singer-songwriter who can write an unbelievable top line over a record and still retain all of the underground cred that you would by, just putting on an instrumental record. But it's just such a beautiful time for fusion, and this art form is, it's stepping into its renaissance. It's very exciting.
Absolutely. I think that you hit on the head. That's when the magic happens, isn't it? When these collaborations come about, and especially ones that perhaps you wouldn't expect or wouldn't think the result to be what it is when a couple of artists get together. We're looking forward to such work and magic to continue coming from you, Mr. Tommie Sunshine. We thank you for stepping in the phone booth to have a chat to us here on the show, on Release. I know you've got forthcoming a remix for a new project called the Wonderland Journals, Passenger, coming up. What else have you got coming up on the horizon that we can expect?
It's kind of a non-stop barrage. I mean, I'm also working on a remix for the Central Station guys too. That should be out by the time I get there. So that'll be the follow-up to the Bombs Away record for them. So it's just, it's so crazy. And then also we did some production work for this original track that I forget the name of the artist, but I don't think I've ever been told the artist, actually. But Nick and Danny and I produced it for Neon, and we've also done an original song, or actually it was her song, but we did all original production, behind it for Zoe Badway.
Yeah, great.
So, yeah, so I mean, it's really, I mean, there's no possible way that we could be more indoctrinated into Australia. It's pretty outrageous. And the coolest part is that, I'm coming in September, but I think it's November or December, or actually might be January. But I know that Nick and Danny are preparing to come there as well. So
right.
You're getting me first in the spring, and then in the summertime you're getting Disco Fries.
We look forward to it, mate. We're looking forward to having you down here. Before we go, we do like to ask our guests, is there something you can play on the show for us? You got anything in mind we can throw on? Could be absolutely anything you want.
I mean, I'm trying to think right now of all of the, the never-ending mess of music that, has been coming out. And it's just so hard to put my finger on anything. But if I was going to say something, it's the record I think that has turned me upside down for the first time in a long time, and it's the Dog Finger record.
Absolutely, here it is. What an amazing song from the man who's an amazing mentor and producer, I believe, in the electronic music world, Mr. Tommie Sunshine. We thank you for stepping into the phone booth and having a chat.
No problem. Love from Brooklyn.
For more, head to djrelax.com.